Okay, so we are from Tide Analytics. So one of the major problems of especially marketing right now is measuring offline performance. So this includes like how many people come to an event or how many people activated at a certain road show, macam tu kan. So how our product helps is that we help measure all this to give a tangible number, right, to every time they run a campaign. So we basically help measure offline performance for marketing.
So how does it work? How does it count?
So we use this, kita guna device macam ini kan, yang boleh measure ada berapa orang kat satu tempat. So because of this placement of this device, it works like a sphere coverage, so it's very easy to install. Once it's plugged in into an area, it just measures all the amount of people there. Yeah.
How does it work? How does it count?
So it just picks up on all the amount of cell phones in an area. So yeah, it's from there.
Let's say if one person got 3 handphones.
So this is something that we've always seen, right? Especially when like certain younger generations, they have multiple devices that they have, right? So what the marketing team does is usually like, this is an indicator for consumer spend. Usually people with multiple cell phones are more likely to spend more. So this is actually a strong indicator on that side. Yeah.
Okay, kenapa tim you menyediakan device ni?
Oh, okay. So the main reason that we use this device is that from like all the observation of all the available ways of counting people in an area, right? We have a camera system, but camera system is quite invasive. Imagine there's a camera system, right, yang boleh cam muka you. This is actually like quite a big privacy violation if they were to actually keep track of all your faces, right? And also camera system, biasanya kan kita kena posisi yang tepat-tepat kat satu tempat. So installation dia amat susah sikit sebab kalau satu corner kan kita kena ada berapa biji kan. Tapi dengan device ni saja, letak satu, dia cover satu omnisphere. So dia senang saja. It's also quite sebab kita tak record muka orang, so dia pun slightly better from a privacy perspective.
Okay, device tu berapa luas dia boleh cover?
Satu diameter lebih kurang 250 meter.
Let's say if within 250 meter tu ada dinding halang so whatever, so dia still boleh detect ke macam mana?
Tak boleh sebab dinding tu biasanya open space. Kalau nak buat satu marketing event pun kan, biasanya kalau ada dinding, tak ada orang pun boleh nampak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, siapa yang develop device ni? You dengan team ataupun you seorang ke macam mana? Dan apa background you all?
So device ni ni macam semua sudah ready product kan. Tapi ni yang iteration yang saya rasa kelima dah. Saya dengan partner saya yang develop ni dari first version lah. Yang ni so this device is actually we buy a lot of common hardware, then we develop the firmware ourselves to install in these devices. Yeah. So it's really the software that we've developed for this kind of IoT devices.
So you dengan partner 2 orang.
Betul.
Okay, apa background you all?
So kita background saya dengan partner, kita dari banking industry yang buat banyak software, yang kita buat banyak transaction processing system. Kita deal with banyak sekali transaction yang datang, especially dengan fraud detection system, real-time transaction processing. So kita semua background data warehouse, data analyzing, data processing. Sebab tu kita tak buat hardware kita sendiri, kita beli saja. So apa yang kita develop tu software yang kita letak kat dalam.
Okay, dah berapa lama you dengan partner develop apa?
Yang hardware ni kan yang kita panggil sensor ni untuk detect handphone in an area. Company kita dah saya rasa 5 tahun lebih.
So 5 tahun lebih tu you dah develop device ni?
Betul. Dari first version lah, yang first version tu besar ni macam satu kotak laptop. Ya.
Okay, ni dah 5th version kan?
Betul, ni dah 5th version yang paling kecil tu.
Okey, konsep yang you dan partner gunakan untuk device ni, ada tak company lain yang buat yang sama dan you rasa macam mana persaingan you dengan company-company lain? Let's say if dekat Malaysia ada device yang sama.
Bila kita first mula kan, memang tak ada competition macam tu lah. Tapi dah sekarang slowly ada lebih networking vendors kan yang ada macam Cisco, yang ada guna teknologi yang lebih kurang sama yang kita buat lah. So dalam Malaysia kan macam Cisco, Ruckus macam tu lah. Tapi yang one of our biggest key advantage yang kita buat is because our installation yang kita buat sendiri, kita tak ada license fee macam mereka. Sebab kita tak payah bayar siapa pun. Ini teknologi kita sendiri. Satu lagi ialah sebab kami specialist dalam data analyzing. Kebanyakan company macam tu kan, mereka lebih kepada network provider saja yang mereka add on sebagai satu feature. Ya. Yeah.
Okey, siapa klien you all dan let's say if klien nak device ni, dia kena sewa ke atau dia beli terus the whole device? Then once klien beli, what will they get from you?
So klien kita sekarang lebih banyak kepada outdoor media yang billboard kat luar dengan shopping center. Yang shopping center yang paling besar yang kita buat tu adalah shopping center kat Sunway. Yang semua shopping center Sunway guna device kami. So biasanya kita tak jual device ni. Kita bagi satu rental fee saja. So setiap quarter mereka bayar satu fee, kita buat installation yang semua dan mereka apa yang mereka nampak adalah akses ke dalam dashboard kita saja. So mereka boleh buat data extraction ke, nak tie kepada marketing campaign mereka ke, nak tentukan ROI campaign. So semua dari dashboard. Kebanyakan mereka tak payah deal dengan hardware.
Okay, how much it cost for setiap quarter yang diorang bayar?
Yang apa saya boleh kata ialah satu device RM300 sebulan. Yang tu paling basic lah.
Okay, it means klien bila dia nak device ni bukan diorang yang pasang, they just pay then you dengan team yang pasang for them, right?
Betul.
Okay. Kenapa you rasa device yang you buat ni menjadi satu keperluan? Kenapa you buat? Kenapa you buat device ni?
Sebab kita dari masa dulu kan kita dari online world kan, sebab kita biasa buat website atau nak beli benda online kan, kami one of the common thing yang mereka track online analytics ialah how many people come to your website. So based on this one small thing saja kan, bila kita run marketing campaign online, kita tahu berapa orang yang datang ke website you, berapa orang yang beli kan. Yang tu ada conversion metric dari traffic. So setiap kali kita buat marketing campaign, kita akan tahu ROI untuk marketing campaign tu. Tapi bila kita masuk ke offline world kan, dia tak ada orang yang buat benda macam ni. Bila kita buat roadshow, kita tak tahu ada berapa orang yang datang roadshow tu. We don't know how much people at the roadshow. Most importantly, bila kita tanya EO kan, event organizer tu kan, mereka biasanya kata banyak. Oh, banyak orang yang datang. Ada beribu-ribu. Sebab tu dia tak ada hard metric yang ada kata 2 o'clock ada 200 orang yang datang, 3 o'clock ada 300 orang yang datang, tapi ada at 4 o'clock ada 5,000 orang yang datang. So dia tak ada macam hard graph untuk kita tengok, untuk kita analyse data tu.
Okay, how details the data that we can get from the device?
So the device actually capture presence. Presence meaning a person is there and how long they stay. So that's the very basic detail that we capture, and from that we form on all the more complex detail, like has the person come here before? How does the person walk through across in a retail zone? Yeah. And how long they stay in each retail zones, and when we know how long they stay in each retail zone, we tie that to their interest level in each retail zone, then we can start to form profiles on that particular person. But of course, all this is without even needing to know who that person is, because at the end of the day, we are just forming profiles. We don't actually need to invade people's privacy.
Yeah, how about gender?
So one of the more interesting things that we've done recently was installation at points of interest. So when we install it at, let's say, we did this before, we installed it at specific toilets, then from there we can derive gender onto their profile. We install it at like we install it at a mall inside the surau, then we can, pull up some profile data from there.
So for report the client dapat report tu on the spot ataupun ada takes time untuk bagi report kepada client yang rental your device.
Oh, all our device gives real-time numbers. Well, there is a lag of about like 30 seconds, but that's like,
So they will get the result on the spot lah.
Yeah, the moment they plug it on, turn it on, and then the data will stream to our cloud. And from there, it processes into the dashboard immediately, or within 30 seconds.
How about if the client want to rental your device, do you provide maintenance work for your device?
We do rentals. So for rentals, it will be a different kind of special provisioning for them already, because we do run events also, whereby we do outdoor units specifically just to plug outside. Like recently, we did a New Year's Eve event. That event alone, there was about 60,000 people that attended, and we had to cover quite a bit of space for that one. We were tracking for that New Year event how many people actually came from other places and how many people actually came from the mall.
Okay, just now you said the rental fees is about 300 per quarter.
Sorry, 300 per month. The most basic one, if they just rent one. As the unit goes up, right, then the pricing is negotiable.
Okay, let's say if they want to rent just for one event for just one day, that one costs how much?
300 also, yeah. But that one, of course, depends on the event also lah.
Your device punya lifespan berapa lama pun?
So most devices, the lifespan is for 5 years. We've only been around for 5 years. We've not seen any failure yet. Yeah, but most networking equipment, most devices like this, most hardware devices, we only estimate the lifespan for 5 years. Even if they last longer than that, we will still change it.
So you're going to connect the device with plug or?
Yeah, usually the device is either connected through a power plug or a network with power. Yeah. Or in some instances, we just connect to the power and it uses Wi-Fi to establish the internet connection.
Okay, any company or same project or same device yang you ambil contoh untuk develop ni from overseas or other countries?
Tak ada, sebab bila kita start kan, device kita memang sebesar satu kotak laptop. Yeah. So from there kita sort of like scout yang devices yang mana yang lebih suitable kan, yang macam kita ada guna model router pun yang you boleh dapat dari macam bila you subscribe Time kan, you ada dapat satu router hitam kan, kita pun ada pernah guna yang hardware tu. Tapi yang tu tak sesuai lah sebab yang kita mount kat ceiling kan, dia tak boleh terlalu besar pun.
So ada client outside Malaysia tak?
Yang outside Malaysia tu kan kita biasanya through partnership saja. Sebab kita small team kan, so kita mostly serve Malaysia. Yang kat luar tu macam Hong Kong dan Singapore, kita through partnership. Sebab kita tak ada presence kat sana, so kita boleh support saja.
Okay, sejak bila tak kembangkan sayap ke overseas Hong Kong dan Singapore?
Oh, sejak 2 tahun lalu. Kita ada, sebab ada yang bisnes yang lain kan nampak produk kita senang nak guna, yang bila compare dengan camera system ke yang lebih kompleks sikit, so dia pun introduce produk kita ke malls kat overseas.
Okay, macam mana you marketkan produk you sekarang dan dah berapa klien yang you ada? I mean for now dah not berapa klien lah, dah berapa kali produk you di rental?
Dah banyak kali kita dah. So let's say lah, satu device kan dia boleh produce let's say lebih kurang 10 million rows of data per day kan. Kita dah ada billion rows of record dalam database kita. Saya rasa tahun ni dah lebih kurang 10 shopping center dah kita ada live right now. Outdoor billboard pun ada berapa.
Macam dekat billboard pula, macam how dia detect lah?
So kat billboard kan kita guna special antenna yang sebab ni boleh keluarkan kan. So kita guna antenna yang lebih besar, mau kat luar, yang hardware device ni kan mau kat bawah. So dia sebab detection range tu lebih beza sikit. So yeah, as long as dia tak speeding, so kat tempat jam kita biasanya pick up.
Berapa banyak billboard yang you all dah dapat?
Kat area sini 45 billboard.
Last year total billboard yang you dapat?
Last year, if I remember correctly, lebih kurang almost more than a dozen.
So dia tahan dengan weather lah, panas, hujan, dia okey.
Dia sebab kita letak dalam satu weather box kan, kat bawah kat bawah billboard tu. Kita tak letak kat luar.
Okay, before this,
Hmm.
macam mana count di billboard dibuat?
Dia tak ada. dia buat sampling saja. Biasanya ataupun dia guna kamera lah, tapi kamera tu super mahal kan.
So this is the first device that we can count how many people yang lalu pass by.
Bukan first lah, tapi more economical, more value sebab kamera system kena ada internet, kena ada power semua. I mean, yang ni pun kena ada power lah, tapi ni senang sikit lah.
Before this memang kamera je.
Kamera ataupun dia sample, dia suruh orang di kat sana guna clicker 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the whole day. So yang ni bila kita pasang kat sana kan, dia 24 hours running non-stop. So kita tak payah worry lah orang tu tak datang ke, tak buat counting ke.
So let's say there's issue with electricity kan. So macam ada detect tak macam ada problem kat situ?
So
Dekat device or dekat your phone or laptop.
So sebelum ni kita ada buat satu installation yang dia always tak ada power kat site. So apa yang kita buat tu kita guna power bank saja. So power bank macam backup UPS lah.
Pernah tak berlaku kes kecurian?
Pernah. Ni biasa saja yang bila installation kat luar kan kita ada power cable pun mereka curi.
So you ada any plan untuk mengelakkan benda tu berlaku?
Yang ni sebab dia jarang happen, so kita tak kisah sangat lah. Sebab ni 1 out of like 12 case. For us one time only lah.
So kita cerita sikit your journey since you join 137 Ventures.
This is a long time ago, so let me try to remember. So we joined 1337 because of a pitch we saw from Mike kan, Bikesh. Masa tu kita memang ada sikit naif lah. Dia dah, sebelum dia accept us dalam academy dia kan, dia bukannya reject kita, dia bukannya reject kita 2 kali lah. Dia bagi tahu ada apa improvement yang boleh buat kan sebelum produk ni ready untuk di market. So sebab tu lah saya rasa 1337 tu baik sikit lah sebab dia tak terus beritahu kan, oh yang ni tak boleh. dia ada tolong sikit lah, oh maybe you boleh improve aspect hardware tu sebab hardware yang pertama kita tu memang tak boleh install pun kalau dia working. Lepas tu dia ada beritahu kita hardware dah ada kan, so kita kena approach business model tu. Yang tu lah. So kita join masa tu I think dah lama pun saya tak berapa ingat. Yang 3 months intensive course refining saja product, marketing communication, business model, process. Banyak tu lah. So saya rasa dia it's really helpful for first timers when we are starting out lah, and even for people who've done this before, it gives us sort of like a structure on how to proceed with especially all these new endeavors in technology lah. Because they see a lot of different kinds of technology that passes through them, right? They roughly knows this one has to be market how, this one target what market segment. So that's where 1337 really helps out.
So you still connect with what is the just thing until now?
Yeah, that's right. Until now, because from time to time, when there is a potential client, 1337 does introduce to us. So that's very nice for that. And when there's any other potential partnership, they do help us out from time to time. Yeah.
Okay, for the device, how long R&D yang buat untuk hasilkan device tu? R&D.
So R&D is always a continuous process kan. So dah lama dah. Yang version 5 ni dah, we just develop this version 5. I think dah 1 tahun saja kita develop version 5. Dan kita ada satu lagi yang boleh plug in 3G SIM card pun. Yang tak payah apa-apa pun. Yang dia boleh ada power bank letak kat sana dah start. Yeah. So the hardware device dah masuk 5 iteration lah. Dari kotak besar macam tu, kepada modem yang kita boleh beli kat luar tu, kepada yang inilah kita custom order dari China.
How do you see the future of the product untuk 2 ke 5 tahun akan datang?
So a lot of what we do, a lot of the products that we develop is data products. This is just one thing that enables us to collect data. Because there's so much potential in the usage of data right now. Collection of data is extremely important, and the intersection with other data sets. This is what we are developing next. Be able to pull in multiple sources of data, right? Just to enrich the database to create a more complete profile of that person. Yeah, and that is where we are heading to right now. To be able to easily, but more than that, because of all these IoT devices, I'm sure everyone that develop IoT will face also is that data is very dirty when coming from an IoT devices. Sometimes there's just data loss out of nowhere, but we've also countered this by creating more advanced model that can do prediction on data losses, and there's a power loss or anything at all. Because when we install outside in the real world, it's very likely to happen. Like what you've mentioned just now, it gets stolen, there's just no power. Or even weirder was that, because sometimes we use this common plug to charge handphone kan, kita ada contractor yang curi power plug kita. I don't know how, because it's installed at the ceiling, right? Dia naik atas, ambil saja kabel kita pun tak tahu kenapa. Ini kabel murah saja kan.
So normally your device akan letak berdekatan dengan CCTV or depends on?
So biasanya kita letak kat tempat yang ada traffic flow. Biasanya tempat yang ada traffic flow, sebab kita bukan CCTV, so kita fleksibel sikit dalam tempat yang kita boleh install lah. Kalau CCTV kena face corridor ke, kena ada light condition ke, tapi kita kat konsert pun boleh. Kat tandas pun boleh.
So do you have any last word untuk you promote your device?
How do you market your product before this?
So traditionally, so when we first started out, we are marketing it to retailers directly. So we do the most traditional form of sales. We cold call. And that is, I think our conversion back then was just about like maybe 2 to 3%. 2 to 3%. This means like we literally get 2 to 3 clients out of like 100, and then we call like, I think 200 people per week, like that. And then me and my partner would just be, hi. Every day on the phone, they're calling all this. We first started out taking out we target by industry segment. We target F&B retail, we target fashion industry. We also are in some fashion retailers. Then we target specific like clothing industry. We literally just go to all those directory pages, right, and just get their phone number and call. And what we moved on to next is that when we switched to industry, especially the mall, we started to call up all the malls. Yeah, and then from there, next, what we are doing now is we are actually looking for partnership with people who are in the retail space. So we specifically seek out those who are more, more acceptable to newer generation, that they are looking for new products. This kind of partners, especially those with retail background. And we also look for consultants also at the same time. So it's mainly through partnerships right now. Previously, we do it directly, but we are a small team. So that's why now we do it through partnership.
So your partnership akan make marketing for Thai?
So yep, usually we provide with the marketing materials, and then the partnership with us together will work out a deal on whenever we approach a client. Yeah.
Okay. Any last word for promote your Thai device?
Yeah. So as we are approaching 2020, right, I think there's a lot of newer generation marketers, right, that suddenly they're just so used to all the online tools that we have, right? Especially when I know when I was in college also, I sell a lot online also, and then when I set up my own e-commerce site, last time don't have Lazada, last time we still use Laoya, Lelong, all this, right? And then we usually put this tracker link at whenever they click on our product or whenever we send to their website, right? And I think a lot of all these generations of people, like maybe younger than me lah. I'm quite old already. I'm mid to late 30s already, but they are now starting to come into all these positions of organizations where they do marketing, right? Then they're like out of nowhere, it's like, yeah, where am I going to get all my data from? And we do see this in the industry, and a lot of them are asking for specifically this kind of ROI returns on their marketing campaigns whenever they run, right? So we see there's really a lot of good potential right now in the market on data usage, and yeah, we would like to help all these people. Okay.
Do you have any yang kita orang tak pernah tanya?
Do you have anything to say that
You need to add
anything
on
that
something that-
we didn't ask you? Something you want to add on?
I think throughout our whole journey, there's a lot of people that help us out, but one of the key foundation aspect in our formative years of our company has also really been Lead Accelerator, 1337 Accelerator. They help us out a lot.
So you explain AI in Thai.
Yeah, so we do a lot of statistics, especially in our data modeling, right? A lot of the time, we use machine learning prediction systems, and then this is just so second nature to us. When people, we use it so much already, we just like, oh yeah, this is just another tool that we use. A lot of people call it AI, a lot of people call it machine learning, and then we just call it by our model names. Oh yeah, this is our profile prediction model. Oh yeah, this is our data loss prediction model. Oh yeah, this is our imputation engine that we use to fill in the data sets. Yeah, but we do use a lot of this because it's at the end of the day, we are very data technical. So that's why we just see it. Yeah, we use it a lot. People say AI, to us, AI is such a big branch of things, right? It could be like computer vision, but for us, it's data processing, yeah, and our prediction models.
We forgot to ask just now, how many people that you have in your team?
We have 3 main permanent members, and the rest, because we're such a small team, we work with external contractors and we work with freelancers a lot. So because on like a lot of our project sites, right, we cannot afford to keep a whole team of contractors because we've done a lot of malls already. So our contracting team is usually this guy that we always get his help from to do all the installation. And then for like our overseas partnership, right, we mainly just deal on a partnership basis. We supply the device, we do a bit of technical support, and then they will cultivate everything for us on their end. So we are looking to expand this because we're getting a bit too much of like a lot of product requests, a lot of all these new things, because as I said just now, right, a lot of all this younger generation that is moving to marketing position, they're asking a lot of interesting questions that we can answer, but we don't have the resource to answer. Yeah, that we are developing the resources right now. Yeah.
So when we talk about IR 4.0 kan,
Ah.
so what do you think from that side?
So from our perspective, yeah, this is great. This is exactly what we are doing. We're trying to enable more data usage. And it's as the industry has already seen, right, it's something that has been that is more and more prevalent now as a lot of younger generations entering into the workforce already, that is going into managerial positions already, that see a lot of data usage. And even now when there is so much more sensor technology, new sensor technology that's coming up that enables all these data collection for us to improve on our models. Like even now we are looking at even, this is a bit off, but we're looking at weather sensors inside our device to be able to capture the weather conditions and what determines traffic and what are the correlations of traffic to traffic profiles, that specific traffic profiles to weather conditions. And we even look at how jam is it outside in a specific vicinity. Yeah, so there's a lot of potential in especially aggregating more data sources into our models to give a better understanding of the ROI of marketing. Dah.
Saya tak masuk shadow. Alright. What should I call you?
Chan.
Chan.
Yeah.
Not Nick.
Yeah.
Just like to mention 2 names. Okay, Chan, can you please explain, ceritakan sedikit tentang teknologi di belakang footfall atau tide analytics. Macam mana ia dijalankan daripada aspek teknologinya ataupun technical.
Oh, okay. So maybe I just explain in English. Maybe we'll follow it. Yeah. So what we do is actually we need to deploy the sensor in a certain location. So let's say in a shopping mall. So we deploy the sensor in the mall in order to collect the data in the area. So how do we collect the data? Is we do it by detecting the smartphone devices in the mall. Because our goal is to measure how many people are there in the mall. Basically, right now, everybody, they hold smartphones. So each smartphones, they will emit a signal from time to time. So the signal is actually in radio frequency. It could be Wi-Fi, it could be Bluetooth. So we just capture all the radio frequency and then translate it to in our sensor, and then we send the data to our server to be processed. So everything, we don't do the processing in our sensor, we do the processing in our server, which is in the cloud. So everything is done in the cloud, and then we process everything and then come up with a simple reporting that is easy for people to understand and to identify like what's happening, to tell them what is happening inside the mall, and how many people are there in the mall, how long do they stay there, and what are the peak hours and what are the lowest hours in the place, and so forth, and all sorts of measurements that we can obtain from the footfall traffic.
Okay.
Yep.
People talk about data analytics so much today. It's part of IR 4.0.
Yep.
Could you please share with us why did you all decide to go into such a topic or subject? Kenapa footfall? Macam mana boleh terfikir nak buat perkiraan tapak kaki untuk shopping mall kan setakat ini.
Yeah.
So kenapa data analytics ini dah menjadi satu reference untuk ramai orang kan?
Because I think because it's a very natural progress for us to initially when we started, we do everything manually, and then there's I think there's 2 reasons. So basically one reason is because we actually coming from a dari tech background. So kita buat banyak tech. We are actually software programmers previously, so we know a lot of tech, and then we also like to play around with toys, like tech toys, like Raspberry Pi and stuff like that. Initially when we started our company, kita buat semua ini research R&D dalam mengguna Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi ialah satu IoT sensor untuk buat toy around ini. So because of that, and also naturally, we believe that technology can also help people do a lot of things at a larger scale, so that we don't need to really need to go down to that place to do the manual counting. So this actually scale exponentially, and then we believe that this actually also can improve the quality of life of the people that we serve, especially like in a mall context or in a public area, or maybe for people who want to do a market research. Whereas maker want to know like how many people are there in a certain location, they can also use this kind of service to track, to measure before they beli a franchise, and then they have a store there. Yeah.
Okay, berapa lama do you take actually to find out the most reliable data untuk diberikan atau dikongsikan bersama orang yang menggunakan servis you?
Berapa lama? Apa maksud?
Maksud saya duration yang you perlukan to do the analytics for them. Macam in the mall, you are going to do it 24 hours. Of course, there's 2 hours it's not on. It's not sort of like operational. But how do you calculate that it is accurate? Like maybe on a weekend it's so busy, but on a weekday it's not. So how do you tabulate that and actually do an average count to make it user reliable?
Yep. Actually, because a lot of stuff actually we process in our cloud, and then we actually we have been going through this in a lot of stages. We got a lot of space. Initially, we collect all the data and then we look at the data. It's not really that accurate because we actually count a lot of things inside. So our system actually now with so many iterations already, we actually improve a lot, whereby we do a lot of filtering. Like for example, we filter some of the data that is a lot of dirty data that is not relevant to our report, and then we also filter like people who stay there for a long time that is not relevant. For example, like staff, we can also identify people who are staff and people who are non-staff, and we can also identify any devices that have been deployed there for 24 hours, because when we look at that, then that numbers is not relevant. So all this has been filtered by our system. So when we retrieve that data, right, we can tengok the data straight away. Maksudnya, wherever the data come in, you can see in our report already. When you log into our dashboard, you can see the numbers. And then manually for us to do the analysis, that is actually an additional add-on whereby we help them to identify the overview of the trend throughout a certain time. So like for example, maybe 1 month, or maybe 3 months, or maybe annually and quarterly. So that is we do like some more in-depth analysis to them. So that is usually we done within the first month of the year, which is in January. For example, in January we just do analysis for our clients for the past year. So we tell them like how was the trend going on in the mall for the last year, and then which month you are performing well, which month you are performing not so well, and what are the traffic peak, and what are the things that you can take note of, so that you can better strategize to run marketing events and campaign, and also to improve the performance. Because eventually bagi mall kan, mereka want more and more people to come, so they keep running marketing campaign, and then they look at this kind of data to improve their marketing strategy.
Okay. Can I also understand, you are only doing it for the mall, or you doing it for shop lot owners, or both?
It works both ways, but right now mostly our clients are shopping malls, and then we also have some of the clients who are actually they own retails, and then we also install the sensor in their retail outlet. So for retail outlet, whereby kalau mereka ada banyak branch kan, mereka boleh tahu yang mana branch ada lebih traffic, yang mana ada kurang traffic, so they can use this kind of information to also optimize on their on their resources as well. And not only for malls, but we also covers like events and also outdoor public places, like highway also, whereby we also got deployed these sensors in digital outdoor OOH. We call it OOH, which is the outdoor billboard. Basically, we also place this sensor at the place to track the traffic in the area, so that they will know which area have more car traffic, which area have less traffic. Because eventually the concept are the same, whereby we track the smartphone devices in the area. So people who drive, mereka pun ada smartphone, so kita pun track itu dan kita bagi itu report kepada mereka.
Boleh track juga orang tu berapa kali digunakan jalan tu lah.
Yeah.
Berapa ramai orang yang memang frequent user dan berapa ramai yang non-frequent user.
Kerana dalam itu signal kan, kita ada satu unique ID. So maksudnya kita track dengan itu unique ID. Kalau dia datang pertama kali, kita tahu ini ialah new visitor. Kalau dia datang the next day, kita akan create dia kepada returning visitors. Dan itu ID banyak orang pun tak perlu risau lah, kerana itu ID ialah unique ID, whereby kita tak boleh tahu dia ialah siapa pegang itu phone. hanya satu ID kerana dia itu ID tak ada meaningful information. So kita guna itu ID untuk track new dan returning
So
visitors.
selamat untuk the owner of the device lah.
Yep.
Tak akan sort of like trespass dalam dia
Yep. So this is actually very PDPA compliant because we don't have any user related information. It's kind of like anonymous information. We call it pseudonymous ID for us to identify new and returning visitors. That is only useful for the owner to know and understand the area. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, what about shortfalls? Macam mana kalau sistem tu tak berjalan? Mungkin ada some gangguan in that area. What can be a shortfall for your system to detect and track footfall?
Shortfall actually
Macam
no.
contoh some of the things here, tak ada internet wifi tak boleh pakai. So what about yourself?
Tadi I ada tanya Ivan, tapi I tanya yang belakang kamera, I tak tanya depan kamera. So you
So
boleh
I
cerita sikit experience you punya sistem pernah sedang 2 kali kan? Itu tadi kita tak capture, so you boleh repeat.
Shortfall.
Yeah, I think the only shortfall for us is usually on the internet connectivity issue because all our data is not processed in the sensor but is in the cloud. So we rely on internet to send the data to our server to process. And then in most cases, we actually this is actually a little bit out of our control because we don't own the telcos, we don't own the ISP. We rely on the ISP. During the case whereby when there's a internet down, we also have a backup plan for our sensor whereby our sensor can actually still store a certain amount of time frame data in the sensor, but it will not. It will just keep. It will just keep try to send the data to the cloud. We keep retrying until when it comes back online, and then we'll send all the data back online. But that one we couldn't hold too long. So if it's down for like more than a day, right, then we are going to lose that data. But if just down for like maybe half hour or 1 hour, we can still recover that data because we still back up the data in our sensor before we send it to the cloud.
Right.
Yep.
Most people don't quite understand about all this, like cloud,
Tech.
doing all this calculation. How do you actually entice people to realize it? Or people who deal with you are people who are already very savvy about this?
Eventually, a lot of people trying to. Right now, we are at the age of like data overloaded, whereby we have a lot of data, and then people started to realize that data actually are valuable, as in like you can see, for example, Facebook and Google, they all have a ton of data, and that is very valuable to people. So a lot of businesses, they started to like see that, hey, we actually also have data, and then like, is there any way we can monetize it, or is there any way we can make use of this to trying to understand more from the data? Because eventually a lot of times when we try to do like, for example, some survey, right, a lot of time we just based on our experience and based on emotion. Tapi all this emotion is actually not that accurate. It's very biased towards the person. So, but data is not biased at all. Data is just there. And then people started to collect this kind of data and then trying to make sense of it. And then when it derives some very business insight, it actually really helps the company to improve, to move forward with this kind of information, because all the information are actually very valuable, are valuable business information where they can get it from their data internally. So they use this kind of information to improve their businesses. And then, yeah, a lot of people, I think now is like the year of 2020, so a lot of people are very data aware. They are very aware of this kind of things, so they try to make sense of this.
Yeah, I guess being data aware and chunking down the data into the right little pieces is the most difficult. So they want you to do it for them.
Yeah,
right?
that's
so you
true.
come up with what? A table for them? You come up with a chart? What
Oh.
kind of report do you give to them? Is it a wordy kind of report? What does it look like?
Oh yeah, for us, right, we have a data analyst team whereby actually we look into a lot of different kind of charts. Actually, as in like we look into different kind of charts. Some of the charts that make sense, some of the charts that does not really make sense. So we actually do a part of filtering for our clients already, because we try to look something that is valuable and something that is actually that's something we think that is insightful for our customers. So we look in different kind of charts. We look at like basically all kind of charts you can see, like a normal chart or like pie chart, any chart, and then eventually we only take like some of the chart that have some information that might that we think is helpful for our customer. Only then we copy all this chart and then we show it to our client when we do the presentation. So for that, for their end, they don't need to do the analysis, whereby we really do the analysis for them. That usually takes about, like, depending on the scale of the data, so that usually takes about like from 1 day to 2 days to like a week for us to crunch out this kind of in-depth analysis.
Level of satisfaction among your clients at the moment?
They all are pretty impressed when they get new information from our reporting, whereby like something that they don't know. I mean, like, people, they really like information that they don't know. When they learn something from the report, then they find it useful. If we tell them the same thing over and over again, then they might be know, oh, okay, there is something I know, so that's not very helpful. But when we show them like there's some abnormal behavior, or there's some of the insight that can help them improve their businesses, then yeah, they will find it very valuable to them.
All right, in terms of fees for your services, is it a range that is still affordable at the moment because this is something new, or it has reached a certain level that only companies with a bigger kind of investment can be indulging in?
Actually our service is fairly competitive as compared to other services, because a lot of their products, they are actually a little bit more expensive as in compared to us, because our stuff also scale based on the amount of sensors that we deploy. So kalau you punya location retail only need one sensor, then we only charge based on one sensors the subscription. So because we charge based in a subscription model, and then because we need to know because we need to operate the cloud server, so this is the subscription for us to cover the operation cost and also the reporting. So kalau you punya location ada banyak besar sikit, and you might need more sensor, then we'll discuss further on how was the price. Of course, we have a different stage of the pricing for different amount of sensors.
Right,
Yep.
to work out the sensors technically, creating it, how much of time did you have to do that?
You mean
Makan masa yang
to
lama ke untuk nak create that sensor?
create that sensor
so
to
that
deploy?
you get
Oh.
the right info that you want, your clients want. I thought it's just one generic thing that you just kira.
Yeah, actually, when we set up the sensor, it's quite fast. As in, it only takes us like a few days, like 1 or 2 days. Then we can get the sensor ready, and then we can deploy to on the location. And then once it's deployed, right, the data, whenever the sensor collects the data, it will send to our server, and then we straight away can show the reporting. So that is only take like maybe just almost live. It's like we actually provide a live data to them also, and then yeah, they can see it right away.
Right, so you have upgraded your gadget just now. I saw there was the latest type, the first one.
Yeah.
So over a period of time. So how often do you do this upgrading, or is there a reason for you to do the upgrading?
We do the upgrading constantly as well, because we also want to improve on the our product. We want to make it like a more affordable and also more accurate in terms of like the data collection part. And also initially the first version, the first prototype that we have is actually quite clunky. So we actually do a lot of iteration and then to improve it. And then right now with this, the current version is actually a more stable version, whereby we can just collect the data, and then we just so that we can focus on providing the reporting for us, whereby yeah, the IoT, the sensor itself is just one part of the system for us to collect the data, and then we do more. Right now we do a lot more time. We spend a lot more time in doing data processing and doing data analysis for our clients.
Last but not least, have you actually planned to bring this, this service to outside Malaysia, or are you currently only in Klang Valley? Have you gone to Sabah and Sarawak? Where is your localities for people to access?
We actually have a few potential clients in Singapore, and also we used to have in Thailand and also in Hong Kong as well. But right now, as in our major focus right now will be serving the Klang Valley malls, and also in Penang, and also in Johor Bahru. So of course we are open to any opportunities that for us to expand, but our focus will be mostly on Malaysia and also the Southeast Asia part. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Tan.
thank you. Terima kasih.